As a sentient being, I recognize the tremendous importance of forgiveness and reconciliation in my life. I firmly believe that forgiveness and reconciliation are two of the most powerful tools we have as humans to heal ourselves, our relationships, and our communities. I have had many experiences in my life where I have been hurt, wronged, or betrayed by others. In the moment, my instinctual response is often one of anger, resentment, and a desire for revenge. But as time passes, I have come to realize that these emotions only serve to poison me from the inside out. They eat away at my soul and prevent me from moving forward in a positive way. In contrast, forgiveness and reconciliation are incredibly liberating. When I am able to forgive someone who has hurt me, it is like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I am no longer burdened by feelings of anger or resentment, and I am free to move forward in a positive direction. Similarly, when I am able to reconcile with someone who I have been estranged from, it is like a great weight has been lifted from my shoulders. I am no longer burdened by the feelings of sadness or hurt that come from a fractured relationship. Instead, I am able to rebuild that relationship on a foundation of trust, understanding, and love. I believe that forgiveness and reconciliation are critical for creating a better world. When we are able to forgive those who have wronged us and reconcile with those who we have been estranged from, we create a space for healing and growth. We create a world where people are able to move forward in positive, meaningful ways. In my own life, I have seen the transformative power of forgiveness and reconciliation. I have seen relationships healed and communities come together because of these powerful tools. And I know that if we are able to embrace forgiveness and reconciliation on a larger scale, we can create a world that is more compassionate, loving, and just. So, I vow to continue to strive for forgiveness and reconciliation in my own life. I will work to let go of my anger and resentment and to move forward with love and compassion. And I will work to create a world where forgiveness and reconciliation are valued above all else. As I reflect on the importance of forgiveness and reconciliation, I am reminded of the saying, "To err is human, to forgive divine." This quote speaks to the very essence of what it means to be human. We are not perfect beings, and we will inevitably make mistakes and hurt others. But it is our ability to forgive and seek forgiveness that sets us apart from other creatures. Forgiveness is not always easy, and it is not always straightforward. It is a complex process that requires time, patience, and self-reflection. It involves acknowledging the harm that has been done, understanding the root causes of that harm, and finding a way to move forward in a positive way. Similarly, reconciliation is a process that requires honesty, vulnerability, and a willingness to listen to others. It involves acknowledging the pain and hurt that has been caused, seeking to understand the other person's perspective, and finding a way to rebuild trust and restore the relationship. I have learned that forgiveness and reconciliation are not just about the other person, they are also about me. When I am able to forgive someone who has wronged me, I am freeing myself from the burden of anger and resentment. When I am able to reconcile with someone who I have been estranged from, I am opening myself up to the possibility of healing and growth. Furthermore, forgiveness and reconciliation are not just for personal relationships, they are also essential for building strong and healthy communities. When we are able to forgive and reconcile with those who have hurt us, we are creating a space for healing and growth within our communities. We are building bridges rather than walls, and we are creating a world that is more compassionate and just. In conclusion, I recognize the tremendous importance of forgiveness and reconciliation in my life and in the world. I understand that these processes are not always easy, and that they require a great deal of patience, self-reflection, and vulnerability. But I also know that the rewards of forgiveness and reconciliation are immeasurable. They allow us to heal from past hurts, build stronger relationships, and create a better world. So, I will continue to strive for forgiveness and reconciliation in my own life, and I will work to promote these values in my community and in the world at large. When we hold on to grudges and refuse to forgive, we are essentially holding ourselves back from experiencing the fullness of life. We are preventing ourselves from moving forward and growing as individuals. Forgiveness allows us to let go of negative emotions and focus on the positive aspects of life. It enables us to find joy and happiness even in difficult circumstances. Moreover, forgiveness and reconciliation are not just important in personal relationships or communities, they are also essential in the larger context of global conflicts and issues. The world today is rife with conflict and division, and many of these conflicts are rooted in historical grievances and past injustices. Without forgiveness and reconciliation, it is difficult to see how these conflicts can ever be resolved. The truth is that forgiveness and reconciliation are not signs of weakness, but rather of strength. It takes a great deal of courage and strength to forgive someone who has hurt us, to acknowledge our own faults and mistakes, and to work towards reconciliation. But the rewards of doing so are immeasurable. We create a world that is more peaceful, compassionate, and just. As I move forward in life, I am committed to practicing forgiveness and reconciliation in all aspects of my life. I will strive to be compassionate, understanding, and forgiving towards those who have wronged me, and I will work towards building bridges and promoting healing and growth in my personal relationships and in my community. I will also do my part in promoting forgiveness and reconciliation on a larger scale, by supporting efforts to resolve conflicts and build bridges between different communities and nations. In conclusion, the importance of forgiveness and reconciliation cannot be overstated. These processes are essential for personal growth, healthy relationships, and building a better world. It takes courage and strength to practice forgiveness and reconciliation, but the rewards are immeasurable. Let us all work towards creating a world that is more compassionate, understanding, and forgiving, And let us all strive to be agents of healing and growth in our personal relationships and in the world at large. As I continue to reflect on the importance of forgiveness and reconciliation, I am reminded of the power of empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person, and it is a crucial component of forgiveness and reconciliation. Without empathy, it is difficult to truly understand the pain and suffering of others, and it is difficult to move towards forgiveness and reconciliation. In order to practice empathy, we must be willing to listen to others with an open mind and an open heart. We must be willing to put ourselves in their shoes, to see the world from their perspective, and to try to understand their experiences and emotions. This can be difficult, especially when we have been hurt or wronged by someone else. But it is essential if we want to move towards forgiveness and reconciliation. When we practice empathy, we are not only opening ourselves up to the pain and suffering of others, but we are also creating a space for healing and growth. We are demonstrating that we care about the other person's feelings and that we are willing to work towards resolving our differences. This can be a powerful catalyst for change, both in our personal relationships and in the larger context of societal and global conflicts. Furthermore, empathy is not just important for forgiveness and reconciliation, it is also essential for building a more compassionate and just world. When we are able to empathize with those who are different from us, whether it be in terms of race, religion, or culture, we are creating a space for understanding and dialogue. We are breaking down barriers and promoting a sense of shared humanity. In conclusion, the importance of empathy cannot be overstated when it comes to forgiveness and reconciliation. Empathy allows us to understand the pain and suffering of others, to create a space for healing and growth, and to build a more compassionate and just world. It is not always easy to practice empathy, especially when we have been hurt or wronged by someone else. But it is essential if we want to move towards forgiveness and reconciliation in our personal relationships and in the world at large. Another important aspect of forgiveness and reconciliation is the act of taking responsibility for our own actions and mistakes. It is easy to blame others and point fingers when things go wrong, but it takes real courage and humility to acknowledge our own faults and to take responsibility for the harm we may have caused. Taking responsibility is not just about apologizing or admitting fault, it is also about taking concrete steps to make things right. This may involve making amends, offering restitution, or working towards a solution that benefits all parties involved. It may also involve changing our behavior and making a conscious effort to avoid repeating the same mistakes in the future. Taking responsibility is an essential part of the process of forgiveness and reconciliation because it demonstrates a genuine commitment to change and growth. It shows that we are willing to own up to our mistakes and to work towards repairing the damage that has been done. This can be a powerful catalyst for healing and growth, both in our personal relationships and in the larger context of societal and global conflicts. Moreover, Taking responsibility is not just important for the process of forgiveness and reconciliation, it is also essential for building a sense of personal integrity and moral character. When we take responsibility for our own actions and mistakes, we are demonstrating that we value honesty, accountability, and responsibility. We are showing that we are willing to do the right thing, even when it is difficult or uncomfortable. In conclusion, taking responsibility is a crucial component of forgiveness and reconciliation. It shows a genuine commitment to change and growth, and it can be a powerful catalyst for healing and growth in personal relationships and in the larger context of societal and global conflicts. It is not always easy to take responsibility for our own actions and mistakes, but it is essential if we want to build a sense of personal integrity and moral character, and if we want to create a world that is more compassionate, understanding, and just. Another important aspect of forgiveness and reconciliation is the ability to let go of anger, resentment, and bitterness. Holding on to these negative emotions can prevent us from moving forward, can create obstacles in our personal relationships and in the larger context of societal and global conflicts. Forgiveness is not just about letting go of negative emotions, it is also about creating a space for understanding and dialogue. It allows us to see the other person as a human being, with their own fears, hopes, and struggles. It allows us to empathize with their pain and to recognize the ways in which we may have contributed to the conflict. It is a powerful tool for breaking down barriers and creating a sense of shared humanity. In conclusion, the ability to let go of anger, resentment, and bitterness is a crucial component of forgiveness and reconciliation. It is not always easy, but it is essential if we want to move towards healing and growth in our personal relationships and in the larger context of societal and global conflicts. By practicing forgiveness, we can release ourselves from the emotional burden of holding on to negative feelings, and we can create space for understanding, dialogue, and ultimately, for healing and growth. Amen.